Welcome to the Pulse with Peter Irby. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano, and this is your one-stop shop for sports picks, politics and government chatter, and even some neighborhood restaurant reviews. Instead of going to 3 different channels, you can come here every week for the Pulse on everything you need to know. And as mentioned on our social media platforms earlier this week, we are skipping the politics segment and we're going to have an extended picks and places segment. And in our places segment, we are here at beautiful Cafe Michelina, which is located at 423 Bloomfield Street in Hoboken, New Jersey. And we're going to be trying out some of their dishes a little later on with Krista Stucchio making her return. But for now, let's go inside and let's have some fun. And joining us, making his Pulse debut, is former SNY sports betting analyst, Mr. Jay Sinatra. Jay, what is going on, my
Thanks
man?
a lot for having me. I'm happy to be here. What's going on, Peter?
I'm happy to have you on the show. This has been a long time coming, folks. You don't know. I mean, he's a hot commodity, and we're so happy to have him on. So happy to have him on.
Peter loves to embellish me.
Yeah,
I like that.
I do. You know, on the Pulse, that's what we do a little. And Greg loves it too, our producer. Anyway, Jay, so interestingly enough, sports betting now has been legal in the state of New Jersey for just about a year, you would say?
Yes, spring 2018, April, May area, it passed and became legal in New Jersey.
So it's over a year that it's been legalized.
Yes.
And I thought this figure that you gave me, I'm going to give him credit where credit's
Thank
due.
you. I like that. I don't get that all the time.
It's an absolutely astounding figure. There's been 3.5 billion wages and 270 million in revenue for the state of New Jersey.
Huge profit areas for New Jersey, and it's only going to become more lucrative as we wait for New York to pass, because you're still having that New York State and city money filtering in, coming over to the books, crossing borders, hitting the phones up, the whole thing. So that number, expect that number to go up as we move forward.
And it has surpassed Las Vegas, correct?
I did hear that, yeah. The numbers have, as far as total in sports books and on the phone, the numbers are above Vegas currently. It's astonishing.
Astonishing for just a year in. I mean,
Yeah.
It really, really is. And of course, this is going to be a really true pick segment, I feel like, today, because, you know, we spoke about many different things here on the show for the last year in our pick segment, but it's seriously going to be almost like an odd segment.
A true sports betting analyst.
There you go.
Now.
There you go. Like I said, we're very, very happy to have you. So there's plenty going on in the sports betting world, obviously. The NFL season is 2 weeks away, or just a few weeks away, I should say. I mean, opening game's always that Thursday evening, and then, of course, the rest of the matchups will be that weekend. And baseball, the MLB pennant races are absolutely heating up.
Yes, sir.
But let's start with football, because that's obviously, would you say that the NFL is the most popular sport in terms of, to bet on?
As of now, I would. I think people love betting their football, the fantasy football, and Sunday's is fun day, the whole thing. That and the NCAA tournament would be the 2 most popular betting avenues, I feel, as of now.
That's awesome. So let's start with the NFL.
Let's go.
Let's start. And let's start with the local teams.
Oh, my favorite.
Those New York Giant fans are fired up, Jay. Fired up. I mean, Daniel Jones has come in, the rookie, and he's shown some potential in the first few preseason games that have occurred. I mean, look, we know it's against backup defenders, so we know that, you know, you really can't put much sway into that. I mean, and then you have Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is going into his sophomore season after a terrific rookie year. He really did have a terrific rookie year. So what do the gambling numbers look like for win totals for the New York Giants?
Well, first off, I mean, let's talk about Daniel Jones for a second. I mean, Giant fans are looking for anything to sink their teeth in. I mean, that Thursday night Jet game, he orchestrated a nice drive. And, I mean, that defense is about as formidable as me, you, and 9 people working back here in the kitchen. I mean, so, yeah, I know, I get the whole thing. There's excitement, and we want to see what the kid has and this and that. But in reality, you know, the Giants are a team that's lacking big impact people on the defensive end. And if you look at the numbers, the Giants were a really good spread team last year. Even though they were 5-11, they were 8-7-1 against the numbers. If you're betting the Giants, you were making money, but they had at least 3 or 4 losses.
Okay, I'm going to slow you down.
Go ahead.
Because I've never bet on a game in my life.
All right.
So you're telling me 8-7-1 against the spread.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Okay, so, I mean, this point spread, we'll throw out an example. Say the Giants, week 1, Dallas is 7.5-point favorite against the Giants.
Is that the spread right now?
7.5 currently. It's open at that. It's been there. And the Giants may not necessarily win that game, but if Dallas wins, let's say 27-21, the Giants get a cover. That's 1-0 against the spread for the Giants.
Oh, right.
So they got the L on the field, but they get the cover. They're 1-0 against the spread.
So I'm looking at this as a naked observer,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, all right, the Giants are, before they even kick off the ball, the Giants are up by 7.5 points right now.
Correct. That's
Got
a great way to look at it. So, I mean,
Got
if
it.
you're taking the Giants with the points in that game, you're up 7.5 to nothing. So, but what was the question you were asking a bit
So
again?
basically win totals. I mean,
Okay, so the Giants, they open up, their number was anywhere from 5.5 to 6. Again, it depends on what book you're playing with. There's a lot of different books, a lot of different websites. We have a few different sports books we can go into live in the state of New Jersey, over at the Meadowlands in Monmouth, down in Atlantic City. So you're going to have a variance of numbers depending on where you go. That number is anywhere from 5.5 to 6 right now. You might be laying some extra VIG money. Usually the numbers are flat.
Big money.
Yeah, so the VIG is usually, we call it flat, where you're paying a 10% override on the bet. So usually minus $110 either way. So if you like Giants under 5.5, the bet would be $110 to make 100. If you like Giants over 5.5, same thing. But sometimes the money differs. So if there's some action going on the Giants either way, that VIG number might go from 110 to 120 to 130 to 145.
In terms of Super Bowl odds for those New York Football Giants, I mean, what are we looking at?
Again, a lot of variances depending on when you're putting the bet in, where you're putting the bet in. I've seen numbers that opened up anywhere from 60 to 80 to 1 based on Vegas books, based on the local sports books. So it depends what and when you get that number. Right now, that number is pretty much solid at 80 to 1. So the odds makers aren't giving the Giants much of a chance, and for good reason. I mean, they've been really poor for it over the last 5 years. I mean, they have all kinds of organizational issues and so on and so forth.
I go to a sports book here in Jersey, whether
Yeah.
it's the Meadowlands or Monmouth or Atlantic City, correct?
Yep.
I put $1 down that the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And they win the Super Bowl, I get $81 back.
Correct. Very good. He's
I'm
catching
learning.
on right
I'm
now.
learning. This is
We got a future
folks.
Sam Rothstein from Casino, right?
There you go.
Aces Wild.
Dropping the names. He's dropping the names. I love it. So
yeah.
let's talk about the other local team, the New York Jets,
Yes.
right? I mean, and again, their fans are fired up. You mean, you got
Everybody's
Le'Veon
fired up.
Bell. Everybody's
There's-
fired up too.
everybody's
because
hungry for some winning around
wins.
here.
Well, it is New York
Yeah.
football market. They haven't had wins in a while.
Right.
Le'Veon Bell coming in, of course, a new head coach at the helm with Adam Gase. What are their gambling numbers look at?
Jets over under started off pretty much opened at about 7.5 in that area back in the spring, and it's pretty much holding up at that number. 7.5 over under, flat money on the VIG most places. And again, with the New York Jets, everybody's all over this Sam Darnold. I mean, they talk about him like he's the next Tom Brady, but this is how these fans are. They catch up. Sam Darnold was on top of the board as far as interceptions. He had 15 interceptions last year. His quarterback rating was at the bottom of the league. But yet, if you talk to he had a big win on opening night against Detroit. And then, he engineered a nice comeback late in the season up at Buffalo, and those were two of the wins he had. But again, are you really sold on Sam Darnold?
I'm not. I'm absolutely
and
not.
I'm not either. And then as far as Le'Veon Bell goes, this guy hasn't taken a hit in a long time. He's coming out here, all this bravado, and he's showing a lot of great leadership skills, which I have a lot of respect for. He's got a lot of energy. He wants to do big things. But you start with all that bravado stuff in this city, and you don't come out producing right away, and you know how hard it can be around here.
Oh.
So, and not only that, recently, Jets have had an injury, a big injury in the linebacking core. Copeland suspended 4
right.
games. So, but as of yet, it has not affected that number. That number's still sitting at 7.5.
Unbelievable. What are the odds telling you? I know it's very, very early in terms of possible Super Bowl champions going forward.
Well, listen, we've spoken about this a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a conspiracy theorist when it comes to the NFL and the numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I'm not one of these fans that watches, every single game and does fantasy and knows this and that and offense and offensive coordinator play calling. I don't follow that closely. The numbers tell me early on, I like the New Orleans Saints. Okay. I think they got robbed last year. I was a big backer in the Rams on that game. They were +3 to go in the Superdome. They won the game outright. Of course, they went on the Super Bowl to lose to the Patriots. But I like the Saints right now, 10-1. That's a number that has some interest. As far as the AFC side goes, the two teams I really like, I kind of like the Steelers. I saw them at 20-1. I think that's a pretty good value. I think the Steelers are a real popular team with the betting community. They lost a couple of people, but I think they're going to bounce back and have a pretty good year with the distraction of Brown and Bell out of the locker room.
That's unbelievable. So now let's move on because we do have some time here regarding Major League Baseball. The pennant races, like I said earlier, are heating up right now. If you look at the locals, again, we like to stick to the locals, the Yankees and the Mets, both teams playing pretty good baseball as of today where we're sitting. But the odds at the beginning of the season and the odds now are completely different, correct? In terms of making the playoffs and winning the World Series.
Well, for which team?
I guess, you know what? Let's start with the Yankees first.
I mean, the Yankees...
that's not probably too different, I'm guessing.
Well, the Yankees started off the season as I believe, a 6-1 favorite to win the entire thing. They were anywhere from 6 to 7-1 favorites to win the whole world, the whole thing. The Red Sox, I believe, were the chalk. Chalk is a term for favorites.
What's chalk?
That's a big old school term. Chalk, underdogs, puppies for underdogs.
So chalk, but explain it.
Chalk is a favorite. So, I mean, chalk is usually the leader on top of the board, the biggest favorite.
But why do they have the name chalk?
I don't know. It's a good question, but it's been around forever, and we've always used that term as the favorite. So, for the NFL, the chalk to win the Super Bowl right now is the New England Patriots. For the Major League Baseball, before the season started, the chalk was, I believe, the Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros, both at about 5 or 6-1. The Red Sox, of course, won the whole thing last year. But the Yankees fell in about that 7-1 range. It's a foregone conclusion. They're locked into the playoffs. I mean, I believe they're up about 7-8 games on the Rays right now. So, I mean... you got to tend to believe that they're going to take care of business as far as the AL East goes, and they'll be getting ready to get into the playoffs. But the Mets are the team that I've really been following hardcore, and the National League playoff race, which has been incredibly intriguing.
Well, there's so many teams that are jumbled up for the wild card, correct?
So many.
Just looking at it as a sports fan.
Yeah, without question. I mean, you got the Nationals in there, you have the Phillies in there, you have the Cubs, the Brewers, the Diamondbacks, and I mean, the Mets resurrected from the dead. They were 40-51. They're headed into the All-Star break pretty much dead, and they've had an unbelievable second half. But the one number that's been crazy to me, that I've spoken to a couple of people about. Before they got Stroman, they signed Stroman, and that was a big move. That showed the fan base that they were going to go for it and really make a run at this.
Long Island kid, right, coming home and all that.
It's just unbelievable, though, to me, that they were on a 13-4 run before he had his first start, and I mean, I think they made a huge mistake in the betting odds. The Mets were 14-1. They were plus 1,400 with that hot streak, with the
14-1 to win the playoffs?
To get into the playoffs, to make the playoffs. That's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to be specific here,
right,
too.
Yeah,
I mean, it gets confusing with all the numbers.
Trust me.
Yeah, and you're newer
My
to
brain
this
is spinning around right
there.
But you know what we're learning here, folks?
I think it's because of the rice balls that are coming out. Let's go with those rice balls. There's something smells great back there.
I know, man.
Oh, man.
Hey, listen, you're more than welcome to stay here. We're going to have Krista joining us.
I'm ready to
in a
go.
little bit.
I'm getting hungry talking about all this. But, the plus 1,400 with the Mets, while they're on that hot streak, as well as just, I just think they should have lowered the number. They were about 5-6 games out of the wild card, and they were returning all kinds of value still to make the playoffs. And now, if you go on, I was just checking, now you can get the Mets anywhere from plus 200 to 250. So that value dropped $12 since that. I would probably say in the past 2.5, 3 weeks, big drop, and that has to go. That has to be. That's partly because of the streak that the team's on. People might be betting them, but
so it increases the value, obviously.
Absolutely,
it's almost like property values. It's amazing.
It's incredible. I mean, they've been on such a good tear with every game. But the one thing that I've seen that tends me to believe the Mets still aren't, a lock from the number. It's something that's still sitting with me that doesn't make me feel really good about the Mets. They're about the fifth, I think they're the fourth or the fifth team on the number side.
Okay.
The Nationals are anywhere from about minus 300 to 500 to make the playoffs.
All right, pretty good. Well, Jay, thank you so much for joining us. I hope to have you on, in the future. Man, football season is right here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, Jay Sinatra, our sports insider this week here on the Pulse with Peter Bay. Folks, when we come back, we're going to have another surprise. She hasn't been on the show in a while. She's been dying to come back on, and I know I'm dying to have her back on. Krista Stucchio will join us where we try, there you go, he's even got the Italian thing going, where we try all of these fabulous dishes here at Cafe Michelina. We will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. And we are joined by none other than Jake Biancamano. If you're ever in my parents' great Italian deli, you'll probably see him hanging outside or when the deli is closed. And Jake wants to remind you, he told me he wants to remind you to make sure you follow us at our new Instagram page, and that's at The Pulse with Peter B. Make sure you like and follow us on Facebook by typing in The Pulse with Peter B in your search bar. And Jake also wanted me to let you know, because he tells me he watches it all the time, to go and binge watch our past episodes of The Pulse on YouTube by subscribing to our network. Jake, do you got anything to say? Nothing to say from Jake. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Joining us, as I said, is none other than Krista Stucchio, and we absolutely missed you, Krista. How's it going?
I missed you guys. Also, we're matching that I just noticed.
Was it pre-planned or no?
No.
It was not pre-planned.
I don't wear a lot of red.
And I have to tell you, Krista, you missed me so much that you brought me wine.
I did.
I mean, talk to me about this Da Vinci wine.
Oh,
here.
yeah. Honestly, this was just chilling in my fridge. So
that's
what was
there
ready
wasn't
to
any
go.
type of special
I was feeling white. It's very hot out right now, so that's what we're drinking.
Well, Krista, of course, is from #FoodPick. Follow her on Instagram, but of course, she is one of our food insiders here on The Pulse, and like I said, we're so happy to have you back. So Cafe Michelina,
yes.
One of your favorite restaurants here in town, so we
good.
had to bring you. What do you
Yes.
like about it so much?
So complimentary bruschetta and BYO. Those are the two things that stand out to me. Other than the fact that I kind of just feel like I'm in my grandmother's house when I'm here.
Nice.
Like everyone, I mean, first of all, you know half the restaurant here.
Oh,
right now.
well, listen, you
like
know what?
Everyone that walked in, you've been like,
Well, I mean, it was almost like to deflect it away from you, because you're the real star of the segment, not me. So, you know what I'm saying? Well, why don't we do a little bit of a salute? By the way, this is the third week in a row, folks, that I'm drinking wine, but when Krista's here, you can't really
Well, now you got to
miss it.
keep going every single episode.
100%. And we're going to bring out some delicacies. Stay tuned. All right, Krista, this is our first dish here. What do we have here? While I serve you, I need you to start explaining.
I love to be served.
Exactly.
So we have stuffed rigatoni with chicken
Oh.
and a vodka sauce. And vodka sauce is my favorite sauce if I had to choose.
Oh my God. So they knew you were coming then, huh?
They did. And I was actually dreaming of this when I woke up.
Did you really? Like,
Honestly, I've been
enough?
looking forward to this all day. I made sure, I
Just
had a
all
little
day,
bit
not
of a
since
light
you've been
lunch.
on the last time?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
So it's very hot.
It's very
Oh,
hot.
we're good.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Action-packed flavors, or?
Delicious. This is actually one of their most popular dishes here. A lot of the Instagrammers I've seen post this all the time.
That
The
is
sauce is
pretty good.
absolutely perfect. Perfectly creamy, perfectly flavored, not too salty, it's perfectly salted.
I was going to say, definitely not too much salt. I mean, oh my God. So believe it or not, we still have like 3 more dishes coming. You ready?
We do. Yep.
All right. So Krista, you must know that we're at Nonna's house, because you said that this reminds you of your Nonna's house,
Yes,
right? When
yes.
the first 2 dishes are pasta dishes.
Always.
Here's another pasta dish. What do we got?
It's like, oh my God, can I even finish this meal? But yeah, so this is rigatoni alla burrata. And
burrata.
anything with burrata has my name on it.
Okay.
So, and rigatoni, it's just, it's like a staple.
Here we go. Here's the silence. Oh.
Perfect bite to the rigatoni.
Okay.
Al dente. That's
Al
what you
dente.
want.
That's exactly
That is what you want. And the freshness of the burrata.
God.
It's like,
And whatever type of, it's just, what is it? Like extra virgin olive oil on top of that? I mean, it just tastes absolutely.
got a little bit of olive oil. We got some crushed tomatoes.
It's so
perfect.
light. It's like the perfect dish, especially after vodka sauce, which is a little bit of a heavier dish,
Oh yeah,
correct?
a little bit.
Oh, just a tiny bit with the
Just a
stuffed
little
rigatoni. Oh my God, how are we going to squeeze in these more plates?
I'll make it work.
She's going to make it work. Oh my God. They are treating us unbelievably here today.
Yes.
I mean, again, kudos to Sal and Pietro Viccari here at Cafe Michelina on 4th and Bloomfield Street in Hoboken. You got to get here, folks. So this is the chicken alla prosciutto. Is that pretty good?
That sounded great.
Is that sounded great?
Yeah,
Crystal,
and
what's in it?
We've got some fresh mutz on here.
Okay, I'm serving you.
Some fresh
Here we go.
roasted red peppers. Yeah, go for it.
I'm giving you a plop of chicken on your plate. Go ahead.
And
sorry.
we have more pasta.
And we have more pasta, a
So,
little bit of
you know,
spaghetti.
it
I'm just
just-
going
it
to give
never
you the
ends.
chicken,
I'm not
and then I'm
complaining.
kind of like going to make a mess here, taking the spaghetti off.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
Buy
saying?
spaghetti.
Boom, buy spaghetti, exactly. And I'm going to grab a piece myself. By the way, the portion sizes, Krista.
The portion size is unreal, and they are not doing this special for us. This is actually their normal portion size.
Oh my God! And what is the sauce? The sauce looks like, it almost looks very
Sherry
thin.
wine sauce.
Sherry wine. Okay.
It's fancy stuff.
Not only have I been drinking for 3 weeks straight here on a Pulse with Peter B, folks, now there's also wine in the food. What are they trying to say?
Wine's everywhere.
Wine's
it's everywhere.
everywhere.
This is how
Wine's
Italians do it.
And you know, my friends would tell you that oh my God, forget it. I don't even want to finish the story. I don't even want to finish the story. Talk to
You
me.
can tell me your story.
No.
I have
You
like
just-
a snack now. I can enjoy and listen.
You can exactly. I'm not, as an Italian American, I'm not that big of a wine drinker, believe it or not. I'd rather
Really?
get a Jameson or a
Yo, can we get a bottle of Jameson
exactly.
over
You
here?
know, maybe Chris is going to be into it. What do you think of the dish?
Amazing. I love the coating on this chicken is great. It's again, it's just very fresh. It still feels light to me, even though there's so much.
I was going to say, it is super light.
It's super
right?
light.
I mean, you know, obviously there's batter around here, correct?
Yep.
But you don't taste it. It kind of like melts in your mouth.
It melts in your mouth.
Unbelievable.
That's exactly the way to put it. We got
My
a nice
goodness.
piece of prosciutto right here.
Oh, there she goes with the piece of
Some
prosciutto
mutts.
and the mozzarella.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So we are at our fourth dish here, and
How you feeling?
surprise, I'm feeling great.
I
I'm
feel-
actually
I
eating.
feel
How are
really
you
great.
feeling?
I
Is
feel
the,
awesome.
Is the question, right?
And everything's been delicious.
And
so.
surprise, it's another pasta dish.
It's another pasta
It's
dish.
another pasta dish. What's in this?
So this is
I'm moving your plate
chicken and shrimp Alfredo. This isn't really like a serving tool right now.
Oh, okay.
I get it.
You get it, huh? It's
It's
not as easy as it looks, right or wrong?
chicken and shrimp Alfredo
Chicken and shrimp
over
Alfredo.
spinach fettuccine,
Spinach fettuccine.
which,
folks.
you know, it's just like regular fettuccine on steroids. if you really think
On
about it.
steroids, you
Yeah,
said.
like
Now,
healthy.
I was
Like,
gonna say, does it make it for me? Will it be healthier for me if I eat this?
of
or
course,
not?
yeah.
Right?
This is basically a salad.
It's basically a salad,
Yeah,
you said.
yeah.
So what makes it a salad? Just a green color? Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I
So
actually
I'm-
didn't even get a piece of shrimp, so
Oh man,
that
so
needs
dig
to
into that
happen.
shrimp, absolutely. So people at home know that shrimp is like totally my favorite dish as well.
Is it?
It is. So, but I want you to dig in first here. Oh, there's the bite, folks. There is the bite. What do you think?
I can't talk right now.
I wonder, folks. It's so decadent that she can't even talk right now.
I mean, who doesn't love Alfredo sauce? That might be my second favorite sauce.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Behind the vodka that you said
It goes
earlier,
vodka
right?
sauce and then Alfredo sauce.
And where's the marinade? Also, the Alfredo sauce is very light, I feel.
Light again.
Light again.
So you're coming here,
Go ahead.
you're getting every single dish is full of flavor,
Mm.
but still very light to the point where you're not like about to roll yourself out of here. I mean, maybe if I did eat this whole thing, that would be a different story.
I have
But
a question for you. Go ahead, finish, please.
no, I just think it's like great to come here and like get like, I don't know, 2 dishes and share it, and like you could still maybe take some home to go if you want to. Also, I must add, the tiramisu here is so,
she's ready
so,
for
so
dessert,
good.
folks.
And I'm not a dessert girl. I feel like I've said this before.
You
but
have said this before.
I'm
It's
much
been a while.
more, yeah. But it's so good. It's so worth it. So no, this I feel like I'm really at home here, and I love being able to sit outside on the corner. It's a great place to people watch.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and
Even though
it's-
it's on Bloomfield Street, it's not on the main drag. It is
Not on the
still
main drag.
very popular, correct?
Yeah. So it's not too hectic over here, but it is near the path. It is near Washington Street, so it's a good spot. Oh
Hey,
yeah.
Take a scooter to Cafe Michelina,
Yes.
423 Bloomfield Street, right?
Make it
around.
a date. Make it a scooter date.
Make it a date,
Bring a
folks.
bottle of wine and don't scoot home after you have the wine.
Very, very
Don't
true.
do that.
Just don't do that. Anyway, Krista, salute.
Salud.
So happy to have you back on here.
So happy to be back.
Can you like join us more often than not? Or?
Yeah, just pencil me in a few weeks ahead of
Yeah,
time.
trust me, it was like 4 weeks ahead of time, folks.
Yeah.
Krista's
Summer
stu-
was busy.
It was busy.
was really busy.
And you got the tan going. It looks great.
Thank you
Not
very
gonna
much.
lie.
Thank
anyway,
you.
Krista Stucchio of #FoodPick. Visit
Yes.
her, like her page. She's always updating. You know, I'm sure you're gonna have
Always.
wonderful words to say about Cafe Michelina.
Yes, always.
Right or
always.
wrong. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. And we are joined by none other than Jake Biancamano. If you're ever in my parents' great Italian deli, you'll probably see him hanging outside or when the deli is closed. And Jake wants to remind you, he told me he wants to remind you to make sure you follow us at our new Instagram page, and that's at The Pulse with Peter B. Make sure you like and follow us on Facebook by typing in The Pulse of Peter B in your search bar. And Jake also wanted me to let you know, because he tells me he watches it all the time, to go and binge watch our past episodes of The Pulse on YouTube by subscribing to our network. Jake, do you got anything to say? Nothing to say from Jake. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. We are here with my man. And the whole time I've been calling him Sal Vicari. It's actually Salvatore Vicari, right or wrong? Sal, thank you so much for having us here today. As you can hear from Krista, she absolutely enjoyed the dish. We still have the spinach fettuccine in front of me with the shrimp, because I told him not to take it away, you know what I'm saying? Because if not, the crew's going to eat it all, I got to eat something.
Absolutely,
right,
of course.
Right or wrong? Sal, Cafe Michelina, it's so funny because it's located in, I wouldn't say a bopping area, but you're not on the main drag. You're on Bloomfield Street. How many years have you been open here?
So in April, we hit 25 years.
25.
25, yeah. We opened the doors in April of '94.
My goodness. And you would probably, and I'm sure when, and of course Sal started this restaurant, we kept mentioning him with Pietro, his father, who is a little camera shy, so we'll maybe try to get him on B-roll, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. When you were opening up, I mean, did you ever expect that you were going to be here for 25 years? I mean,
to tell you the truth, like my father opened up, and it was a long shot. My mother came from Hoboken,
right?
And Hoboken then, as you know, was nothing really anything crazy, and it was something that was just kind of up and coming, and they opened the door and they said, let's see what's going to happen.
And they say, let's see what's going to happen. And I've drive by here a lot. I walk by here a lot because it isn't a great location, even though it's not on the main drag, and it's always bopping. What makes you think? What brings people back here? I mean, look, Krista has said, besides the absolutely wonderful food, but you have the ambiance outside. Inside, you feel like you're in a cafe in Italy, correct?
Absolutely. Basically, the whole drive that we're trying to go with is. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right.
It's the old feel, it's the kind of the whole like going to grandma's house.
Yep.
That's
like Krista mentioned, right? Hernandez house, right?
And that's basically what it is. It's we don't want to be upscale, go crazy. We want you to come enjoy a nice meal, be full, take leftovers home, and have lunch for the next day.
It's almost like a trattoria style, because if you ever look at the trattoria styles in Italy, and Sal, correct me if I'm wrong, because you know way more about the food business than I do, even though my parents do have the deli. There's the drop, Sal. There's the shameless plug. A trattoria style is very casual. It's very laid back. I mean, it's almost like, you're on Giovannina in the back that's cooking for you, right or wrong. I mean,
basically, yeah.
Exactly.
And most of our recipes all came from my father learning, my mother learning, and just kind of taking as we went on, and then as time went on, we just kind of like, all right, let's try what works, and what works stayed, and
it's phenomenal. And in looking at your menu, you don't really have a large menu, but you have enough on there. Is it because you know what you're doing and you know how to do it well?
So the reason why we don't want to go crazy with the menu is because then it goes to like a part where you just can't do it anymore.
Right.
It's just too much. It's like going to a diner. You don't want to go crazy.
Exactly.
But the benefit is everything we make is fresh. So when somebody sees what we have on the menu and say, hey, can you change this and add this, and basically why have a larger menu when people create their own menu anyway?
Exactly. And that's phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, I was a little hesitant at first. So I was like, oh, by the way, salute, absolutely. Si, sempre salute, sempre salute. I just had to drink on cam a little bit more because apparently I'm becoming a degenerate drinker on camera. With the Monte San Giacomo Club last week, and then with Alex Corrado 2 weeks ago.
And we'll have coffee at the end.
And then we'll have coffee. You have to have cafe, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to sober you up. I was a little hesitant because I was like, wow, there's just more and more pasta dishes coming out here. But I got to be honest, it was so different. I mean, it's not like you're just making a plate of spaghetti and you're throwing, meat sauce on one dish, marinara sauce on another dish. You're making them unique.
Yeah. So basically, we don't want to be boring.
That's it.
How many times have you gone to Nonna's house and it's just, okay, today we have sauce and pasta? No. We want the traditional feel of it,
right?
But we want to spice it up. We want to try something new, something that just makes you go, wow.
Exactly, and there was a lot of wows. Krista Stucchio had a lot of wows. I think she's still eating in her background here, somewhere like that, in a restaurant. There she is. So Sal, I have to tell you, you don't know how happy we are that you invited us here, and we have to tell the Pulse audience this. This fine young gentleman right here is actually getting married next Sunday.
Yes,
and I mean, goodness gracious, it's like a week away, and. And he was like, no, he's like, bring the cameras, we'll do whatever we have to do. That to me is confidence, not nerve. Cool as a cucumber, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Anything you want to say to your bride to be right now? Putting you on the spot, right?
Love you.
And hopefully you'll see her on next Sunday, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I hope so. You better show up.
No, cool. There you go. And you better show up.
I'll be there, trust me.
Salvatore, thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you.
Cafe Michelina, 423 Bloomfield Street here in Hoboken, New Jersey. You don't want to miss it. They got the beautiful, I call it like almost like a piazza outside, by the way. The outside seating. It's absolutely gorgeous. And when you're in here, you feel like you're in a cafe in Italy. Get here, try the dishes. Come on the weekends. You might be waiting online a little, but it's totally worth it. Folks, join us next week for the Pulse on everything you need to know.